Okay, today we are playing a game on Blizzard World. We are playing Hammond the entire way through, and there is no SR for today's game because it was a placement game, and we are also on the console today, so consider yourself forewarned. So let's start the game. So we're defending first. Everybody's much too far up, but nobody's quite as far up as them. So Soldier's already dead from Helix Rocket from Genji. Great start. Let's just, like, you know... I forgot to turn the pen on. My apologies. So, like, this is already pretty far up right here. You know, you don't really want to be right next to the gate like that. But then look at these two motherfuckers. Fucking Soldier and Baptiste, two of the least mobile people they could be. And where are they stood? Like, inches away from their spawn door. So... fantastic start to the game so far. Soldier died within 3 seconds, so that's fantastic. Baptiste is not going to be long for this world. Who would have fucking guessed, right? So, it's not looking good already for this first checkpoint. So we went out, we played Hammond. We didn't really accomplish very much, but we didn't feed anything because of the adaptive shield also. So there's a Sombra on the enemy team. This is very scary to us as Hammond. Because, boy, Hammond being hacked is pretty fucking tragic, you know. Honestly, not as sad as Diva, I think, but still quite tragic. Hammond, none too fond of being hacked. Hey, look at that, we're playing Hammond right now. Wow, isn't that incredible? You know? Now, so conveniently for us, the enemy team have done a terrible job capitalizing upon this golden goose they were given. And, you know, this is the incredible difference between low-level play and high-level play, right? In high-level play, if you lose one man, any man, it doesn't matter, right? It's all over, probably, at that point. Because just like, you know, I heard this chess analogy once, where you lose the pawn and it just snowballs into losing the entire game. Whereas in low SRs... you need to lose something like a queen and a bishop and a rook before you actually, like, lose the game, really. And what better evidence for that can you have than we literally just lost Soldier, Baptiste, and Reaper within 10 seconds, and they haven't captured the point. They're making zero progress towards capturing the point. Isn't that incredible? Soldier's dead again, so he's doing great. Soldier's doing fantastic so far. Oh, did she? No, she did not cancel the res. So we need to be real careful about flinging ourselves into the enemy team for this exact reason of getting hacked right in front of them. You know. Conveniently, there weren't that many people there to start bullying us, but boy, did we almost die. We've managed to build up our minefield, so we've thrown that down on the point. To be honest with you, the way everything's been going, I would have rather saved it. Oh, hey, Soldier might have actually saved it on that one. The Helix Rocket through the amplification matrix. Looks like it did a fair chunk of damage to the Badman. How about that? So, the engage overall felt pretty toothless with that minefield because we just kind of like rolled over the top of them and like put the minefield down. There wasn't any kind of like velocity behind it, you know, which is sort of Hammond's thing, building up this massive force. What I would have rather done previously, rather than go all the way back again, ideally we would have been healthier than like 200 health at the start of this also, but that was, you know... plays into the whole getting hacked thing, especially since we went in at like half health when we did that. Would have liked to have gone like around so, and then we can come up behind the enemy team, bonk them onto the point, because bearing in mind their team was like Orisa, fucking Mercy, you know, a lot of immobile people. And then there's a Sombra, so, you know, watch out for that still. And we boop them onto the point, out of position, away from their shield, and then we put the minefield down on top of them. Rather than just sort of going, yeah, mines. You know, it's a little bit lacking in oomph compared to, I'll push the enemy team out of position and then drop the minefield on top of them. Or even just, like, you know, fly over the top of the mines, slam, you know, the classic Hammond maneuver. For a sec, even when we were shooting at the Mercy, I was like, are we about to like try for some real big kill the Mercy in midair plays right there? We just use adaptive shield. Not a good time to do that. They're not looking at us, and this is going to be like bare minimum adaptive shield because we're not next to anybody. It's a pretty long cooldown, so didn't accomplish very much. They weren't even looking at us. Oh, Genji just killed Soldier with tac visor. How suspicious. Soldier's absolutely killing it so far, isn't he? He might have saved us that one time, but let's be honest, Amplification Matrix probably did most of it, didn't it? So, to be honest, it's miraculous we held the point for as long as we did. By all accounts, hey, fantastic result, alright? Don't know why we, like, that was, like, this whole thing. Just like, alright, get hacked right here. Terrible, disastrous results. And what was our plan? I'm leaving, actually. Sombra started hacking us right towards the end of that. So we gotta be like, you know, like, if we're gonna do something like that, we need to really have a plan for what we're doing, not kind of just, like, roll out there and then be like, maybe not, actually. Adaptive shield right here. Doesn't do anything. It's just Orisa. Just the one person. She's probably not even going to actually hit us that much, and it was a bare minimum adaptive shield. Still not a tremendous use of company resources. Hey, we've all been emped, and here comes Dragon Blade. Right? Hard life. Not much you do about that one as a hacked Hammond. So now it's time to go and fling ourselves in. We built up Minefield. We decided to drop it down right there. It did kill Mercy, so there's that. But my issue is just how far back the minefield is. It did get Mercy, so fuck her, right? But most of the enemy team is past the minefield, you know? It's not really a big deal for them at this point. Mercy killed herself on it, so hey, fantastic result there, right? As her own fault, but hey. So this is all well and good and very fun to be playing Hammond, right? Like, who doesn't love giving them one of those maneuvers where you just start propellering yourself around? But what's that going to accomplish right there other than feeding them a bunch of ult charge? It'll delay the payload by like 2 or 3 seconds. Not really worth it, given that we just also had to feed them ult charge to do it. Should have just like backed out and then come back here once our team is actually all together again. You don't need to start propellering around the point unless, like, you're gonna lose the point in the near future, you know? It's very tempting to start doing it as Hammond, but you don't need to do that until it's like, alright, well, we're gonna lose the point if I don't, right? Fair enough at that point. When it's still got the whole track to go through, just wait. Hey, here's Sombra. She's behind us right now. Very inconvenient. There she goes. It's a trying situation to play against Sombra as Hammond, and usually, like, to be honest, probably just worth it to change off of Hammond most of the time, because you just have to be afraid constantly, right? And like Mei is pretty popular right now as well, so we've started propellering. That doesn't really like do anything again at that point, so if we know that's like, that went off to the right, correct? Did she go off to the right? Yeah, she went off to the right. So, we can go in right now, right? Like, we can go in, we've got all our resources up right now. We could go up and, like, harass them instead of just doing that. Because doing that didn't really accomplish anything. Whereas we could have thrown ourselves in, you know, slam, pile drive, try and kill someone if we can. Adaptive shield, at least get some damage in, charge some ult, and roll away. You know, the classic Hammond loop. I'm going in to harass them now, and then roll away. Because if Sombra's not with their main team, you can just do it, right? Like, she's the only thing we're afraid of on the enemy team right now, is getting hacked by Sombra. So if we know she's not with her team, we can go, like, play Hammond at them, and it's no big deal. We're real concerned about the Sombra behind us. Like, we're really not playing Hammond at this point, though, because we're spending so long worrying about the Sombra behind us. Because the whole loop with Hammond, basically, is that you're rolling yourself through the enemy team, you know. Ideally, you're coming up behind the enemy team and pushing their team into yours. So, let me back up for a bit of a better angle for my illustration here. Like, you do something like, give them the roly-poly, you go around the backside, right? And then you swing around here, and they're like, round here, you swing up from behind them, you push their team into your team, right? And hopefully someone dies. At the very least, you've greatly inconvenienced them and increased the risk of them dying. Or you just go for the standard harass of, like, fling self in, slam, whoever I knocked up, try and kill them. Hopefully I do, but, you know, enemy team's here, so probably not. I've got adaptive shield going, so I'm not feeding any alt charge right now, because I just, like, got a 500 health shield. Alright, now roll away. You know, you do that kind of thing. What we're instead doing is spending our whole time sat with our team, shooting behind us, trying to find where Sombra is. Right, like, we're not playing Hammond anymore at this point. We might as well just be playing Orisa, right? Like, that's kind of what we're doing at this point. So, this is the thing. Anytime you're playing a hero, but you find yourself not playing that hero like the hero, you should probably just change to something else or try and adapt the playstyle so you are leveraging that hero, right? Here, they've got to come up and touch it, so we just, like, put the minefield down on front of the point, and hey, 2 people kill themselves on it coming to touch the point. They have to touch the point, so, you know, fuck them, right? They're gonna walk into some mines. So, yes, we spent that whole time being very afraid, and I don't feel like we played Hammond at all, other than when we were like, woo, I'm stalling! You know? We didn't really play Hammond much during that round. Granted, you know, it is scarier when there's a Sombra on the enemy team, doubtlessly, but yeah, if you know, yeah, I saw the trap. I was making my point, but I saw us hurtling right towards the trap. Gotta watch your feetsies. Even though Hammond, well, most of the time you don't actually have any feetsies. So, again, what does this accomplish, right? Like, we fuck it up as well, right? Because our tether's too short to go all the way around the statue. But, like, what does this achieve if we do it? We start bonking their team around and make it way harder for our teammates to actually hit anybody because they're flying off in random directions, right? Like, instead of doing that, because we actually just made it easier for Anna to get away right there, because we bumped her towards the point. She's gonna die regardless, hopefully, but, like, we made it easier for her. Instead of doing that, we were looking at the kill feed, ideally. We identified that a few of their team are dead. So instead, we've just, like, woo, Hammond, right? We, like, come up to the point and try and bonk them back away from the point, back into their teammates, right? This is the ideal situation you're in as Hammond. You don't really want to push the enemy team away from your team. Sometimes you do, sometimes you're trying to peel like a Reaper off of somebody, so you just, like, bash them away from your team, right? Fair enough. Most of the time, if you got, like, an Anna running around, a McCree running around, you know, you want them to go towards your team, because they don't want to go towards your team. And so you swing around behind them and bonk them forward, right? That's, like, the ideal. They have, like, people that don't want to be in your team, and you make them go be in your team. You don't just randomly bop people around for the sake of it, because it's, like, easy to bop them, right? This is like Lucio just randomly booping people. More often than not, that actually just makes it harder for your team to kill people, because you're randomly booping them around, right? So, we captured the first checkpoint. Hey, Winston's feeding. Rad. Right, like, just like, what was his plan, right? You know, just big ol' feed. I just heard Soldier use Tac Visor and immediately eat shit. So, he is once again doing a great job. We are accomplishing not very much right here, except being ominous, I suppose. Oh god, he's just swinging there menacingly. They don't have a Sombra this time around, so, you know, not too much disastrous can come of it, but boy, it's just like, ooh, I'm gonna get you one of these days, right? So, again, this is like a really toothless engage, because the ideal, like, mine combo, right, is you go... It's be harder to do from this angle, but you just, like, fling up above the enemy team, you drop the mines over them, and then you slam down on top of them. Because then, they're falling, you knock them all up, the mines are arming under their feet, and they drop down onto the mines and die. And that's the ideal, or at least take a bunch of damage. Whereas this is just like, yay, I'm here. You know, just like roll over the top of them, and like, yay, I dropped some mines. It's just really toothless compared to what you could do, you know? Because it's way more inconvenient when he drops them over you and then, ah, fuck, if I don't have a movement ability, I'm gonna drop right down on top of these mines, right? So someone like Anna gets really fucked by that maneuver. And Anna's really popular right now, so it happens. So this is, again, accomplishing nothing except being like, woo! Yeah, playing Hammond, right? Like, we're not even hitting anybody. Like, we've almost won the game, and it's like, instead of trying to actively win the game right now, we've decided to do nothing. Right? Because, like, we have got such a little distance to cover right now. The enemy team is on the back foot, and we're just like, woo, go team! Yeah! We're not even hitting anybody. You're like, yeah! When we could be like, you know, going in, playing Hammond, doing the things, you know, like we're not, like we did nothing the entire time. Like, if Reaper tried to go in, he'd have been inconvenienced. We could have been, like, trying to win, though. We could have, like, tried to push them off the point, push them into our team again. Again, they're not people that want to be in our team, you know? Just, like, roll in, slam on them, try and kill somebody, you know? And it's like, woo! Yeah! I'm playing fucking Hammond! Which is what most Hammond players do, to be honest with you. What we're doing is not really all that unusual for your average Hammond player, but it's also not particularly effective. So we're in Grav right now, and Reaper's spinning on us. You know, I'll go wait and spawn again, I suppose. Such is life. It's okay, though. They used a couple of ultimates on that one, so now we can try again when they don't have those ultimates. Soldier, please do not die again. Thank you. There's still time, but he didn't die right there. So now it looks like we might play Hammond. It took her a second to realize, didn't it? Like there was a loading bar over her head on that one, it feels like. Hey, here's Winston, he's feeding again. Rad. You know, chalk that one up to mostly just not being super confident rolling around as Hammond. You know, there's a learning curve on just, like, moving Hammond around the map efficiently, you know. So, you know, we'll not complain too much. Hey, here's Reaper. Let's get this Reaper. Yeah. Sick. So now, I assume we'll just roll up and drop some mines. Yeah, you know, what else are you gonna do at that point, right? Hey, we won the game. Woo! We did nothing, to be honest with you. Like, we had pretty close to 0 impact on this game. But we still won. And like I always say, if you don't get punished, you don't have to learn. Yeah. Get him, Zarya. Yeah, just like lurking around the corner, waiting, ominously, put the bubble on the Reaper as well. Wow. Incredible. Video games. So, yeah. The overarching thing for that game is just like we really weren't playing Hammond outside of the, like, woo thing. You know, like, we gotta try and actually leverage what makes our hero, which for Hammond is massive disruption, and we really weren't doing very much of that. The disruption that we did cause was either largely inconsequential or, like, potentially detrimental, right? Like, we didn't really do anything Hammond-esque at the enemy team other than swinging ominously around them, you know, which is very spooky, but not actually very effective. So, Thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about it, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 PM EST to 11 EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future, and I hope you found the video helpful.